Hello and welcome to the Tiny Human Knits podcast. My name is Laura and I'm coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, where I live with my boyfriend, our dog, our cat, and our rabbit. You can find me online as Tiny Human Knits on Instagram, Ravelry, Etsy, and YouTube, and I will have links to all of my social media and anything I mention in the podcast in the description box below. Hello, it is the 28th of February today. Tomorrow is March. Bonkers. I am covered in paint because I am currently doing a little bit of a renovation on my kitchen, which was very spontaneous and exciting because I've been wanting to do it for ages. I might talk a little bit about that later, but if you see just green paint all over me, that is why. I also have some dye on me, and I'm playing very fast and loose with this new object, sweater top thing that I made that I talked about in my last episode. It's a finished object now. Playing very fast and loose with it. It's a little bit ridiculous, but I don't think I have anything to say at the top, so I might as well just talk about it. What I'm wearing and a finished object in one. I actually have 3 finished objects today, I think. But yeah, the biggest one being this top here, which is the Summer Souffle by Laura Penrose of Penrose Knits, but I did it with stripes instead of the ruffle. And it is knit in Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, which is a 70% cotton, 30% merino mix. And I didn't have enough of any one of the colors that I have in the cotton merino to completely finish this project. So that's why I decided to do it striped. I talked about this in my last episode, and so if there's any information you need and you haven't seen my episodes before, check that one out. I won't repeat myself too much. But yeah, I finished it last week, and then if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I blocked it, and because the main color is like a bright white, and the contrast color is quite a saturated color, I was already a bit reticent about the fact that it could bleed onto the white. So when I went to block it, I had color catchers and I used cold water, and I kept my eye on it. I didn't walk away from it for a second. And I did notice immediately when I submerged it, there's a yellow in this brown stripe. It's the brown ochre, I believe, started coming out. And so I kept taking it out of the water, squeezing out the rest of the water, or as much water, and then redoing that process just so I could get a good soak out of it. It did bleed onto the white. It was a lot more noticeable when it was still wet, and there are still some places that I can tell that the brown has bled onto the white stripe, but honestly, what that does for me is it makes it so that I don't feel bad about wearing it when I'm doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing while wearing it, because I didn't know I was gonna like this top as much as I do, and I really like it. I've been wearing it almost every single day while dyeing, now while painting my kitchen. It is such a great shape, and it fits so well, and it's really easy to wear, and the cotton content makes it breathable, and I don't get too hot in it, because all of my other tops, I overheat so easy. And so this is just the perfect thing to wear when I'm running around doing my stuff. And it's been great. I love it so much. It's already starting to pill underneath the arms. I put this on every day. Every day. I love it so much. I am definitely going to be making more of these. I have, so I ended up using, I think it was about 274 grams. You use the cotton merino held double. And I do have 250 grams of a black in the same yarn. And what I was thinking, because the last time I showed this, I had run out of white yarn. I think maybe about here. I've already got paint on it. Excellent. It was after I'd separated the sleeves, I'd finished the sleeves and worked on the body a little bit. I got that extra skein of yarn, completely used it, every last bit of it. And I ended up having to do the last few rows in the contrast color just to get the right amount of ribbing that I wanted. So anyway, I was thinking I'm not going to stripe with the black or like anything in the black because I don't really have any color that's appropriate. So what I was thinking I might do is I do want to make one in black. So I'm going to use just black by itself, and instead of doing stripes in a contrast color, what I might do, at least for the top portion here, just to get a little bit more length in it, I might drop one of the strands and then just knit with a single strand for a little bit, so it's like solid stripes and then like a more see-through stripe. I might do that or add stripes of mohair or something like that in there, because I do have black mohair. I'll have to test that out, but I don't have enough to make the same size as this without doing something like that, and I think that would be a really nice, a really cute alternative, I think, because I really, really like the fit of this. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. I remember when I first saw this pattern, I love the shape of it. I am really, really picky when it comes to summer garment knitting. I find they can be really clunky sometimes, and a lot of the things that are out there are beautiful, but they're not what I'm looking for at all. But this is exactly the shape that I was hoping for, and I have a very similar body shape to Laura Penrose, so I knew that it would look fine on me. Weirdly enough, I wish I would have been able to knit this one longer, but again, ran out of yarn, was not gonna order another skein. That would have been silly. But yeah, I love it. That's what it boils down to. I absolutely love it. I am very happy with it. It's been super great to have something to put on that I have made myself that works for when I'm being a little bit more active. Anyway. But yeah, you can definitely see there's some spots that it's a little bit yellow, like right around the edges of the stripes. But you know what? What it boils down to is that I still love it regardless of that. And if I keep getting gunk on it, I'll just over dye it. I've already thought, like, I don't know why I chose a bright white. I think it's just because it's what I had, but I'm still not sure why I bought it in the first place. But the bright white is a bit much for how just chaotic I am. So I might eventually over dye it to be like a nice tanny brown color to go with the darker brown stripes. I think that would look really nice. So yeah, when I get to the point where it's completely gross and I can't wear it anymore, as it is, I'll just over dye it. Anyway, that's a very long story about how much I really, really love this top. I will move on to my other finished objects. First off, I have got my Crossroads child sweater, and I will link the pattern and pattern designer below because I can never remember. And this is a colorwork yoke sweater that is for my nephew Axton, and it is finished. The last time I just had the sleeves to do, and they were super quick because they're little baby sleeves, and I don't mind knitting sleeves at all. These are super fun. And yeah, it's a super basic sweater. I knit the 4-year-old size, but on a smaller needle because I liked the fabric better on the smaller needle. And also he's only going to be 2 in May, so it doesn't need to be for a 4-year-old yet. So yeah, it's got some short shaping in the back, which is optional, I think, in the pattern. You don't have to add it if you don't want to, because with kids, they're a little bit more even front and back. But I do like a little bit of short rows just to break. Pardon me. Just to bring it up a little bit. And yeah. And I have got the yarn. I'm using the exact same colors of yarn. This is Durum Natura Ulysses. And I knit in the maple, white, and then this is, what is this? Salt and pepper, I think? I want to say it's salt and pepper. And yeah, so I'm knitting a cardigan for my sister, Axton's mom, in the same colors, but I would have had that started already, but I've decided that I can only, I think I've decided this a while ago. For me, I knit a lot of things on a 4mm needle, and I don't like having more than one project on the same size needle. And that's the one I'm going to be using for that sweater, I think. But I'm currently knitting something on a 4mm needle. That one is almost finished. I'll show you that in a bit. And I'm casting on another Gartrell crew by Tanis Lavallee because I love that sweater so much, and I am using a color sequence for not next month's Lord of the Rings colorway, but April's, because it's my favorite. I don't know why. I love it so much. So I dyed myself up a set of 6 skeins on tweed to knit myself another Gartrell crew. I'll show you that probably when it's done, because I bet you anything I will whip that up real fast. So I have to finish that one first, after the one I'm already working on, and then I can cast on the cardigan for my sister. Which is fine. She's not going anywhere. I haven't talked to anyone for 3 days, so feeling a little chatty. Anyway. Third finished object is my Musselburgh hat. So I knit this using some leftovers from my 1031 by Ozetta. It is in the Cascade 220, I think it's superwash, I'm pretty sure it's superwash, in the color 863, and yeah, nothing to write home about. I finished this a little while ago, and I purposefully, I knit it shorter because I don't want the extra folded brim. I like the way it looks just flat with the 2 layers, one inside the other. And when I finished this, I had literally, you know, wove my end into the last remaining stitches, cinched it tight, sewed that in, folded it one inside the other, and I put it on my head. And then my boyfriend walked into the living room because he had been, I don't know, lighting a fire in the basement for some reason. And he saw it on my head that I had just put on, and he said, "Where'd you get that? Oh, that's really nice. I'll have that." So he loves hats. I have made him quite a few. He has quite a few hats that I've made, and he wears all of them. And so he said he really wanted it. It fit him. I didn't think it was going to fit him, but it did fit him really well. So he'll probably get to wear this one if he wants, but he also, I showed him some yarn that I could make another one for him out of. So he picked what he liked. He said he also wanted a cowl, just the same sort of tube cowl that he could just pull over his head and just have it snug around his neck. So I have enough of the yarn to do that as well. I don't think there's anything else to say about that, but this way I can move into whips very seamlessly. You see how elegant that was? Perfect. So I've cast on another Musselburgh hat. It is a pattern by Ysolda Teague. I always forget to say that. And it's just a like end-to-end hat that you put one end into the other, and it makes it nice and thick and smooth and nice and lovely. But I have had this yarn in my stash for quite a while. It is from my favorite yarn dyer ever, which is Yarning Apart. They were the first hand-dyed yarn dyer people that I had bought from, and I still have quite a bit of their yarn in my stash, and I love them so much, and I hold them close to my heart, and I hoard them. This is a colorway. It's on their DK base. I cannot remember what the colorway name is, but this is what it looks like. So yeah, I had 3 skeins of this, and I was initially going to knit a Hohi Locatelli pattern, I think, in this yarn, and then another one of their yarns for contrast color, but I never got around to it. So I cast on for the Musselburgh, and Jason, my boyfriend, is very, very excited because he absolutely loves that it's like a bluey silver color, and then it looks like it's got rust spots, so it looks like a rusty truck, and he's over the moon. So I cast this on to be my workout knitting again, because that's what my other Musselburgh hat was, and it's going great. Not in a hurry at all, and I don't have to knit it as long again because he liked the way that my hat fit as well. So he will get this probably before the end of winter. These knit up really, really fast. But yeah, and I think I sort of have a weird in-between size because I counted the stitches on my last one, and it's sort of between a adult small and an adult medium with my gauge, I think. But it fit really well, so I just made sure that I did the exact same gauge. And it is a great pattern for just on-the-go knitting. It really, really is. Like, it's easier than a sock because you get to just go round and round and round forever. So when I'm doing something like working out on my little stepper thing, it's just fantastic because I don't have to think about a thing. And then I can just drop it and nothing will happen to it. What else are my works in progress? Oh, yes. So I am making very good progress on my Caspian sweater by Jared Flood for Brooklyn Tweed. Just yesterday, I finished the front panel. I'm very excited. So here's the front, and then this is the back that I had finished before. I am so happy to not have to do these cables anymore. I'm so happy. They were such a kick in the pants, and I can't say particularly that I enjoyed it. I'm glad it's done, and I'm really glad that I did it in this yarn too. This is the Woolstock Worsted by Blue Sky Fibers. And yeah, I am very excited to not have to do these cables anymore because there isn't any cables on the sleeves, and it's a saddle shoulder, which is the first time I've ever done a saddle shoulder, which is going to be exciting. But I just need to finish the sleeves, sew it all together, and then do a collar. Easy peasy. And I'll probably give these a block before I seam them, so I'll probably throw them in some soak today. Block them out. And the thing about this yarn, it is crazy stretchy. So I'm not really worried about the fit because it is stretchy. Very stretchy. And what's so interesting about this pattern is that these cables are so cinched in. Like you have to add. So in the stockinette, I think it's around 100 stitches that are knit back and forth. And then before you start the cables, you have to increase to about 150. So very cinchy cables, but I think it's going to be absolutely great. But yeah, so those are the front and back. Easy peasy. And then I also cast on the first sleeve today. And this knits up so fast. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's just how nice the yarn is. But it's on the 4mm needles. But yeah, I always knit my sleeves magic loop, and I don't mind it at all. I find it very quick and easy, and I don't get stuck. And yeah. Delightful. This is the Loon Lake color as well, in case you're wondering, and I really, really like this yarn. I've got a couple sweater quantities of this yarn in my stash, and I actually realized how much I had of this color here the other day. So they come in either 50 or 150 gram skeins, and this color is Gravel Road, and I have, I think, 5 skeins of this. And then I also have this is in plans now, I have this Diablo by Hobby. It's like a less expensive version of a mohair, really. And I was thinking, because I have enough of both of these, I was thinking they would make a great season sweater by Ozetta, which is this terrible photo. I just think I think it's half fisherman's rib or fisherman's rib, something like that. And I just think it's one of those ones that I would love to knit. And I believe Maria from Knitting in the Dark is having a all seasons knit along. So yeah, it's half fisherman's rib. Because she couldn't decide between the season's sweater or the season's cardigan. And then there's like an oversized season's something, cardigan or something. So she's doing that, and I'm trying not to be like swayed into starting that yet because I have so many other things that I need to finish first. But I think that yarn combo would actually be really, really nice. But I'm super excited to have this almost done. I started this last year in December, and it's not something that I've been feeling like I need to get finished anytime soon, but it'll be nice to clear it off the docket just so I don't have to think about it anymore. And then I have one more work in progress, which is a new cast on, and this is just, you know, making myself happy, really. So I have waxed Poetic. My hands are really dry, I beat to dubs. I'm just gonna put some lotion on. I have waxed poetic about how much I love my 1031 sweater by Ozetta. If you're looking for a basic, wonderful sweater pattern, Ozetta is definitely one of the top designers for me. Her designs fit so well, and I love them to bits. I really want to start another field day cardigan. I think I mentioned this last time, but that is also something that I have to wait till later to do. But anyway, I started another 1031 by Ozetta because I absolutely adore the one I knit for myself. It is so comfortable. It is so easy to wear. So I cast on another one. The thing about it though is that this one's not going to be for me. So I am knitting it out of the same black Aloft Knit Picks mohair that I was using last time. I'm gonna see if I actually have a label for the other yarn in here somewhere. Nope, that is not it. So I'm using a, am I even gonna be I'm awful. This is the, oh God, I can't remember. Anyway, I'll put the information somewhere, but I'm knitting it out of this yarn right here, which I know the colorway name is called the Shire, but I can't remember whose yarn it is. But it's this beautiful heathered green. It's got darker bits of blue and yellow, and it's beautiful. And I'm holding it together with the black, the same as I did on my last 1031. And it is knitting up beautifully. I've just finished the back portion before I need to pick up stitches for the fronts. And this is what it's looking like. It's curling up quite a bit just because it's in that one piece still. I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out, and I'm very excited to give it to the person. She's gonna like it. I know she will. It's super soft. And yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it. I really like how, even though there's black, the black mohair, it dulls it down. Like, it's not as bright, but you can still see the yellow bits in here, which I really, really like. And this is hardly any time worked on. It's on 5mm needles. It's a worsted weight with a mohair held together. It's so quick. It's one of those things, I'm trying to kind of keep a thicker sweater project and a thinner yarn sweater project on at the same time, because I still want the satisfaction of finishing something. And I also have a pattern picked out for when I finish this sweater on, so another pattern on 5mm needles, and it's going to be a baby blanket, but it's really nice. And then I always have, so for right now, I seem to have a sort of rhythm of 2 sweaters, a hat, and a pair of socks. A lot of times it's more socks than that, because I still hand knit my samples for my sock, like for the colors that I sell in the shop. It's a problem. I haven't fallen in love with my sock knitting machine. I'm not a huge fan. Not, because I got the Dean & Bean 3D printed one, and it has nothing to do with the actual mechanics of it and like the thing. I just don't like it, and I don't know why. I'm not taking to it. I'm not reaching for it to make samples. Gus is doing something very strange. Gus, you got that stuck to your face? He's got a piece of paper towel stuck to his face. He's trying to get it off. Got it, buddy. Do you need to come here? It's stuck to you. There you go. Good boy. You got it. He got it. He's a good boy. Where was I? Oh yeah, I haven't fallen in love with it, and I'm not entirely sure why. But if I don't love it by next year, I'll probably sell it. It's fine. I don't care. But yeah, that's one of my projects, and I'm really excited. But yeah, my next project that I will be casting on, it will 100% be my next cast on, is the Gartrell by Tanis Lavallee. If you'll remember, I made a rainbow one last year, and yeah, this time I'm so excited. The colors are divine. I'm so excited. I'm gonna wear it all the time because I wear my other gartrelle all the time. I truly feel a little bit bad for some of my sweaters because they're a little bit more like going out of the house sweaters, and then I have my group that I put on all the time. So, but it's okay. They'll all get worn sometime. I'm very good with giving away ones that I won't wear. The ones I still have, I love, and I will wear them. I just need to leave the house a little bit more often than how I am right now. Okay, so real quick, I'm just going to give an update about what's going into the shop this Friday, March 3rd at 1 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Just going to give a quick little show of what's going in. So it's going to be the second colorway of the Lord of the Rings collection, the Two Towers section. And that is going to be this colorway here, which is the King of the Golden Hall, which is what I showed last time. These are all ready to go, and I have them in 50 gram with a 20 gram mini skein setup, and then I have them in 100 grams with a 20 gram mini skein as well, which is what I always have. I try to have the same amount each time that I dye them, the new colorway, just because I know that's a lot of people only need a 50 gram with the 20 gram mini. Actually, most people only need the 50 gram. I'll also have a couple sets of the Carols in the Snow colorway because it is very highly requested. This will be the last time I will be having this in the shop this year, I think. I will have a few of that. But I will also have a couple mini skein sets in the shop, and I'm actually pretty excited about this. I was going mini skein dyeing crazy the other day. I'm not entirely sure what was going on. It's not usually something I gravitate towards, but I was having a lot of fun and I was in a really good rhythm with it. So I actually dyed up some mini skein sets of Carols in the Snow. And I only did the 5 colors. I didn't do the undyed stripe because that would have been pointless. But yeah, I've got these. And then I also re-dyed the Jolly Holiday mini skein sets, which is the contrast colors that I used in my Friday tee. The baby one and the one for myself. And yeah, so there's, I think, 19 packs of that because I stole another set out of this shop update because I can't stop using these colors in stripey things. I don't know, pardon me, I don't know what I'm going to use it in yet, but that's great. Yeah, and then I'll also, I'll be having the 4. I had a lot of the trial colorways for self-striping and then just factory seconds of a few other ones, so I'm going to have some of the mystery sets of the 4 50 gram skeins for a severely discounted price. So yeah, I'll have that in there as well. And I think that's it, as far as I can remember. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Sorry, I still have my spring cough. Probably have that for the next few months until fall rolls around and it'll come back. But yeah, I am going to continue very happily working on what I'm working on, and I'm really hoping to have that Caspian sweater done soon. I'm still not even sure if it'll suit me. I'm not a really big fan of blue, but if it doesn't, it'll go to a good home. I don't know. I know lots of people who would take that off my hands. But yeah, I will see you next time, and I hope you all have a wonderful time until then. Bye!